Hey y'all, welcome to Vibrant Vibes. It's live. Hey, let y'all know it's a good reel. Sit down and watch and just chill. It's Vibrant Vibes.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Vibrant Vibes. This is season 2, episode 9. And here with us is Jacob.
What's the deal? What's the deal?
All right. Let's get to it. So
Let's do it.
Talk about yourself. What are you feeling?
Let me introduce myself. I'm only here because I got something to say, and it's gonna help the world, however it may. Take it how you want. Keep it real. But first and foremost, friend of a friend, Kyla. Went to school together. Native Inkster. Nah, I'm just playing.
I'm screaming. We are Inkster natives, low key though.
Spent some time together. Just being friends for a while and good friendships.
And we know each other through Robert, who was on our episode prior, a couple episodes ago.
Shout out my boy. Shout out my boy. But yeah, a little bit about me. I am first and foremost a father, a man of God, a musician, somebody who's been through something, a real person, not nobody that's just gonna post the greatness of my life and just be like, yeah, everything's been easy, but I'm a real person. So that's a little bit about me. Where else do we start?
So, I'll kind of start us off here a little bit. And we'll get into like the topics and we'll flow. Let the energy fill the room. It's about energy. Let's talk about. So Kyla told me she's the one, tell me, hey, I'm gonna bring Jacob, on the podcast. She already told me that you had some really good topics to talk about. First, though, obviously, I'm like, who's Jacob? Okay, I didn't know who you were. She told me, what year did this happen? When did this happen?
2019, right?
Because Kyla called me the night this happened.
2019 or 2018?
2017.
Wow. What?
2017.
No way. It was that.
That
long
sounds
ago?
right, because it was my 19th birthday.
Yeah. It was your 19th birthday.
Whoa. Oh my god.
You remember where we
We're already in 2024.
We went to Granite City, and then we went to a hookah bar.
Right.
And then we were leaving the hookah bar, literally almost home. We were on Cherry Hill.
Why was I not at your birthday party?
You was
You
at the
were.
dinner. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You already know him. You just don't remember shit.
I don't. I didn't. And
You
it
probably
took.
don't remember me.
Yeah,
It's all right.
I didn't.
It's all right.
You were there though. I had to think about
You were
it.
there too. It's all right. We were there together. Just
And I think, and Mackenzie is who we saw at the hookah bar. That's what I do remember. And then we were on Cherry Hill and Inkster, right?
Right.
And we were sitting at a stoplight. And I remember I was on my phone and like, it's my birthday, so I'm like taking pictures with Shelby and stuff. We're in the back seat. Josh is next to us. Robert's in the passenger seat. Jacob is driving. And we just all of a sudden feel this car just like smash into the back of us. And we flew through traffic. There was no cars, luckily. That was straight God. And like I remember getting out the car and Jacob pulled out the Bible from his compartment.
Yeah.
And he was like, that was straight God. Because that was the craziest moment for us. Like, because Shelby wasn't wearing a seatbelt.
She was in the middle.
But
Oh my god.
Josh grabbed her. So he covered her. So nothing happened to Shelby. So Josh took the impact for Shelby in him.
Yeah, he definitely felt pain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to say first and foremost, shout out to Josh.
Yes.
When I don't know if you guys remember, like, so Shelby was sitting in the middle.
Yeah.
Who else? Okay, so what kind of car? Can you guys tell me a little about this?
It was like an SUV, right?
Jeep Cherokee. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who was all in the car?
It was me, Jacob, Robert, Shelby, and Josh.
Yeah, and drunk driver just came through. What they say it was going 50. He was going about 50 miles an hour.
Really?
Yeah, at a red light, we were stopped and pushed us straight through. Pushed us straight through while my foot was on brake. So imagine being pushed through in the right lane, and then you crash into the person head on in the left lane on the other side of traffic because you just got pushed by a drunk driver.
That's so scary.
That was the
It was
most
scariest
intense.
moment.
It's like traumatizing. Like it'll give. Like I bet, and I could be wrong, but do you have like PTSD from that?
Oh,
Like, do you ever think about that? Like when you
Yeah.
drive now, like
That's why I couldn't drive for
Um,
so long.
ugh.
To be honest, I felt so guilty carrying the barrier. Um, Leaving that scene, I was the last one to leave that scene. My parents was going at a Christmas party, right? And we had I'm gonna be real. I had a curfew, right? They were like, you need to be back at the house by midnight. It was about maybe
It was
12
It was
something.
pushing it.
It was 12 something. We were pushing it. We were definitely pushing it.
You're just having
And
fun.
right,
Mhm.
we were
That's
being,
all.
but we were being responsible.
Yes,
about
because we
it.
were literally.
And
He was literally about to drop me and Shelby off because you see where me and
everybody,
Shelby live at.
everybody was around the way.
You literally.
And what happened, just because we were young, mentally chewed at me because I had people lives at stake because of some things that could have happened being a little more, hey y'all, we need to hurry up and dip. We need to, if I could have been a little more
But at the end of the
responsible.
day, it's not your fault.
Oh
And you did
yeah,
not create that situation.
most definitely.
Now, if you were, say, the drunk driver, and say, I mean, you got everyone in the car, and say you say, hey, I'm still going to drive, I'm good, and you knew that you weren't good, and you caused an accident yourself,
That's different.
then yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I hate to say point fingers at you, then yeah, that's different. I mean, you have to take fault of something like that. But when this was not at all in your fault, you can't put yourself in that kind of guilt.
yeah, but it just, I hate to say it, being naive, being young, just living, uh, what they say, a life of innocence. When something like that so traumatic happens to people around you, and you realize something that you were involved in affects other people's lives, you kind of wear it a little bit. It kind of wear on you. So, I seen what it did to my friend Rob firsthand because we got a very good relationship. So seeing how long it took for my man's Rob to like say, I want to drive, I want to get behind the wheel, I seen what it did to him, and I know without him having to tell me, it was this car accident and the trauma that it left between me and Kyla. I didn't really know Shelby too well, but me and Shelby definitely built a relationship based off of the trauma and what it done, and just me being there because I sure not in a lifetime I live somebody be injured on my behalf or my watch, and I'm not gonna take care of them. Me and Shelby will forever be cool, or anything she needs, she knows she can holler at me. You can holler at me, Shelby.
We love you, Shelby.
For
Love
real. But everybody that was in that accident knows, because everything that I went through after that, it changed the teenager I was traumatically. So hopefully, I know y'all journeys were a little different, but I didn't want it to taint y'all like it taint mine. Cause my innocence after that was like, shoot, you're a man now. You're a man. No, for real. Like
I
you gotta
understand, though.
you gotta carry
Certain
on that.
situations will shift you in parts of your life that will just shift you overall as a person.
Mhm.
It changes everything.
Yeah, when you can control somebody's emotions, whether they're happy, sad, or anything like that, like kids don't. That's not nothing kids do. Like you can definitely, as a kid, I can do something and make you mad or make you upset, but like what as a grown up, me causing a trauma to you, that's gonna make you forever feel that, and that's not a kid thing. That's an adult thing. Like people will change you in ways that they don't even know by doing crazy drug driving, or you know what I'm saying, just any type of trauma that somebody's not ready for. Life is very scary.
Man, who you telling?
Like it literally flashed. Like I can't remember. Like I remember the day, and like it happening. It just didn't feel real. Like when we got out the car and we just like looking at it, we were just like, all of us were in disbelief. I just remember you were like, my car.
I was not only just my car.
Was it totaled?
Oh
Yeah, it was done.
yeah, like I know I probably have a picture of it, but like,
Did you get a new car after that?
so look, let me tell you this. I had 2 Jeeps. After I got that Jeep, said I'm gonna get another Jeep. Other Jeep got into an accident, and the craziest thing was,
Dang, so you got in an accident after this accident.
yeah, I got in an accident after that accident, and you know, I went on an accident thing where it was like I got hit. After that accident, I got hit again, and then after that, I actually got an accident on my behalf. But with my Jeep, it was like I hit my friend, and mind you, my friend John, he's the one who taught me audio with movies. I was doing movies for a minute, but he taught me audio.
Mm-hmm.
I hit my friend, and I gave him enough money to buy 2 cars. My ass, I'm like, damn, I can't rear end you or mess up your car.
Mm-hmm.
They told me, they was like, yeah, your car totaled. And I feel like I seen my car a little bit after, because the people who told me they totaled out my car,
Mm-hmm.
they were like some Arabic people that were just trying to get that money, get the money from the insurance, because my car was not totaled all the way out. It wasn't. My motor wasn't blown, and I looked at certain parts myself after examining the thing, and they told it. They was like, "Yeah, man, you might have a chance." They ain't thought no sandbags after the accident. You know, when your car messed up, you got
They
leak
throw
everything
stuff, yeah.
leaking. They gotta get all the liquid, the antifreeze. It wasn't that bad, so they threw my car up on the tow truck and they sent it to where it needed to be. And then after they examined the car, they probably just totaled it out because it probably cost too much to fix it. But yeah, that's how that went. 2 Jeeps gone. Wish I got another one. But I'm cool where I'm at.
What kind of car you got now?
Man. So I technically got 2 cars, but I don't even want to speak on the second car.
Okay.
But the first, my what I got is a Chevy Impala 2013.
Is it stolen?
No, so like
I mean, he said he don't want to speak on it.
It
I'm
ain't-
sure he's gonna say no.
it ain't stolen. I'm gonna keep it a buck. The car finna be
You
passed
never know. People
down.
don't care nowadays.
No, the car finna be passed down. But like you ever got something you wasn't ready for, and when you got it, you was like, but like, well, whatever it cost, you just was like, nah, I'm not ready for that shit. You might want to hold on to it. That's the situation. I ain't ready for what it. You know what I'm saying? I got
What
the
kind
car.
of car is it?
A Mini Cooper. No, a Mini Cooper. One of those nicer ones.
Okay. What's your other car?
The Impala. It's a nice little Impala.
I mean, you got 2 cars. I have 1, so you got me.
It ain't, but that's not what it's not. It's not about that.
Hey, I want 4 cars.
Man.
You're already at 2.
But you got a house.
You got a roof over your head.
I'm blessed.
I'm blessed too. Be blessed.
I know that's right.
It don't matter. You got roof, I got roof.
But see, the milestones don't matter. So as long as it's like you still doing what I'm doing and I'm still doing what you're doing, we still going to sleep. We still eating and putting clothes on.
Turtle wins the race.
Man.
Turtle wins the race.
All right, so come on, look, y'all know me now. I'm just the guy. I make music and just vibe out. That's it. Well, look. Let's talk about while we all got the floor. Let's talk about our kids.
Okay.
That's the most important thing. Our future.
Yes.
Tell me about your baby.
He just turned 10 months yesterday. That's my pride and joy. He makes me so happy. I feel like he was sent from my grandma Pat. Cause she passed away like 2021 September. Oh God, it'll be 3 years in a couple weeks. But I feel like she sent him because she sent Jamel back to me when I needed him most. And then, because I remember our last conversation, she basically was just like, "You never gave me a grandbaby." I'm like, "Sorry, but like, it wasn't in the cards yet." And I was like, "It'll come." And I remember a lot of people don't believe in psychics and stuff like that and mediums, but like, my heart was telling me to go. And I went and I was talking to the medium, and he was like, "Your grandma says you're fertile. I think you should be careful." And then he was like, "Is your boyfriend like a Libra or whatever?" Like, yeah. She was like, "Oh, yo, you guys have fun." I was like, "Yeah." And then, I was just like, again, not paying attention, not listening. And then my birthday came because I went in September to the psychic, and then December came, like my birthday party. My aunt was like, "Kyla, I had a dream about a baby. Your grandma was holding a baby. She wouldn't let me see the baby, but be careful." Again, went over my head, not listening. And March, I found out I was pregnant. It was like that fast. And I was just like, he was definitely sent from her. So I love him even more because of it.
Yeah.
So he makes me very happy.
That's a great.
Thank
Dang, that warmed my heart.
you. Oh.
So you're an astrology person?
Mm-hmm. We both are.
That's great. That's great. Say, you gotta believe in something somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, if you don't get a hold of something, don't believe in something, you will fall for anything.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's a tough road. That's a tough road. Y'all get a hold of somebody. Y'all better talk to somebody. It don't matter who it is. Allah, Jesus, astrologist, whoever, a medium. Get a hold of somebody. Talk to somebody. And then, please, let me hear about your baby boy.
Wow. What's crazy about kids is like every day it's always something, and it's like how crazy they pick up things, how observant, how smart, and like especially around like the toddler age. I mean, any age, even like Carter's age, 10 months, milestones can happen so quickly. And like my son, with kids, I'm learning. Like you were talking about your son a little bit a while ago. One thing I'm learning as a mom, and I like to tell my friends this, is I feel like a lot of times as a parent, you always want to reach those milestones at that exact point with kids. Okay, well, you're not that child. It's like when we were kids, I don't remember myself as a kid. I don't remember where I was at. I don't remember when I started talking, when I started walking, when I started doing this. Every child is different.
Yeah.
And, like, that's one thing I'm learning about my son is, like, you can't compare kids. And, like, I know some people do that sometimes. And it's like, or it's a lot of it is around social media, and that's wrong. And it's like one thing I learn with kids is one day they may not know something, the next day they're going to know 5 things.
You know
like
that.
I'm being serious. My child, he's so observant. I mean, you're going to say about your kids, so smart. Every kid, like Carter, so smart. Jackson's so smart. Your son's so smart. And it's like the things these kids learn, or it's like my son, like, you don't realize what kids watch. Or it's like, okay, he's going to be 2 in a month. What 2-year-old really is going to be picking up, cleaning things? Oh, let me pick all these things up. Like, kids don't normally do that, but when kids watch you do it, they're going to start doing it.
Exactly.
Me, I'm not OCD, but I'm one thing, and thank God, his father is too. Like, whenever we leave the house, or whenever we come back, or like in the morning, at night, I always like my house. Doesn't have to be perfect, but just like put together. So, or like when we go back, like we just got back from Tennessee the night before, I cleaned my house. We did all of our laundry. We did everything. So when we got back, even my car, I cleaned my car. I got back, I was like, ooh, my car smells good. Like, it's just like, you don't realize, but when, you do those little things, but like my son, what I was saying is like, right now, I don't tell him, he's not even 2 yet. I don't tell him, pick this up, clean this up. He don't know. He's not, I mean, he may kind of comprehend, but he's not going to know.
Exactly.
But, so right now we have these like little, like, those magnetic blocks. You ever seen those? Or like magnetics?
Yeah.
Daycare. I'm sure you guys have them. So we got those for him. And like every day, we'll just sit on the ground, or like before I take him to like his grandma's house or whatever, we'll play blocks for a little bit. And he knows, like, I keep him in like a bag. And one was actually yesterday. He started like putting him in the bag, And he watched me, and he, one by one, he started putting them in the bag for me. I was like, thank you. I probably tell him 10 times, thank you. But you know, you gotta tell him, thank you.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I kind of, just watched him. It wasn't just like watched him, but it was just also in awe, because you're not, in a month you'll be 2, but you understood to do that already. And I was like, wow. And I'm like, okay, good. We're learning at a very early age to clean up, to help, to like, okay. And like, even with his food, 2-year-olds are going to make a mess. Whatever. Oh, yeah. Like, he'll make a little mess here and there, but honestly, for a 2-year, he really doesn't, which is good. But like, if he does, if I say, okay, pick that up, I kid you not, right in the bowl. I'm just like, they're just so observant.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I look at those things, I'm like,
yeah. And
it's pretty cool.
I can agree. Like, that's one thing Adonis is, just like you said, very observant with the cleaning. At an early stage, about 2 years old, because he'd be 3 in January. Adonis is like super smart when it comes to doing things. Like, that boy can figure out how to climb anything. If you let him and you give him something, he'll work with it. You find a chair, he'll climb the chair, he'll get on the counter. My son is
I feel like
active.
It's a boy thing.
It might be. I mean,
I don't have a girl, so I really personally, I'm not raising a girl. I don't know how. I never raised a little girl till she was 2. I don't know.
Some aren't as adventurous.
So you work in a daycare, so I was like, how is it? How are boys more like?
Yeah, boys are. I feel like are more adventurous, yes. But then there's some girls that are like, oh, I'm gonna go right behind.
I mean, I guess if you're raised,
I got a little niece.
Maybe the girls are like that too. I don't know.
Yeah, my niece, her name's Lyric. She just turned. Yeah, shout out to my cousin Tyler. She just turned 2, and when I tell you, she say, "It's my birthday," on her birthday. Speaking, but she like that's their second child. Their first child is 8. Tyler, little Tyler Jr. He's 8. So I know that their second time around, of course, their baby is like more
and you're
advanced.
Around the sibling every day.
Exactly.
You're around this when your kid. Okay, so we're trying to talk about socialization.
Yeah.
I'm a stay-at-home mom. My son, she works at a daycare. Her child's in daycare, which trust me, if I work at daycare,
I'm gonna have to get with you.
Yeah, she works at daycare. So my son, I'm home with my son. He's not in a daycare, only because just state they don't want to pay for it. And it's just very expensive. So we're choosing. I'm be home with my son, and I'm in a very grateful position where I can be home with him every day, stuff like that. But when it comes to socialization, what I'm doing now that he's getting older, being a boy, I don't want him being in the house. Like, you can ask her, I'm always out my house. You can call me, I'm driving, I'm going to the store, we're doing this, and like he is so good about like once I show him his shoes, pops his little butt right on the couch, sits there, lets me put his shoes on, waits by the door. Like he has no problem leaving, going places. Good car rider, like it's good. I'll take him to the park. But what's nice too is I do work as a waitress 2 days a week. So his grandma and the dad's side, she'll watch him, and he's around his cousin every week.
Right.
So he is around other kids every week and stuff like that too. So that's too where it's like I get my son involved, like socialization. But trust me, if I can get my kid in daycare, especially at 2, I would. But it's just like not what they want me to pay. I hear it is so much. Like
say it again.
I hear it's like rent money. Like rent money.
Say it right here, folks.
Your son, is he in daycare?
No.
Oh, no,
Look. So my son was about to go to daycare. The situation happened we went shopping with multiple daycare tours and child time, this place, that place. You can blurt that out. I don't want them to hear that. But we had a lot of different places we went to. And the place that we chose because of good faith, right? So there was a situation that happened, and that situation we communicated it. It got through, but the trauma that it brought to my baby mother, she just did not trust it. And with that being said, we tried to go back up there, and it did not work out. She tried to go back up there, take the baby up there. They was late. They was about to make her late for work. You don't play with that paper. No, not on that, especially when you spending the paper.
Exactly.
So, that situation just didn't work out in the best interest. But I am so open to getting my son involved around other kids and just learning how to socially deal with problems, because what we don't do, I feel like this as everybody, grown up, senior citizens, everybody, communication is not where it should be. We go to English, we're taught English, but we're not taught communication. Our communication skills are thumbs down, all the way around. So, I want my son to really digest what it's like to deal with everybody, because nobody is perfect with communication, and nobody's perfect with anything. But the first thing first that we got to do as people is communicate.
Yeah.
That's how we get our feelings across, get our point across, get anything across. It's through communication. So I think that that's where it begins as a youth, as a child. If you don't put your kids in a daycare or something, not to, and I am with raising your child. If you're a stay-at-home mother, I'm with that. I am not against it at all. But what we can't do is coddle them.
You can't keep them home all the time.
Yeah, because what it'll do is it'll turn the doctors into believing, oh, they're disabled and they need money from the state, and they're gonna write your kid off as a check.
This happens a lot.
This happens
and I know
too
someone
much.
that this is concerning to also, and it's sad.
And it's sad when the doctor tells the parents, and the parents become used to crippling their child when their child can be raised
Is your
like
son,
a regular.
if you don't mind me asking, do you guys have him around any kids? Like, is there any kids he can be
Well,
around?
so we have kids in my grandmother in my mom's neighborhood. Per se, his grandma. We have neighbors. They have young kids. We keep them around. He has cousins. Is he around them all the time? No, because anxiety and just him being young, he's starting now to develop and deal with. But because he was the only child, the first year or two, maybe a year and a half, he was just around his mom, his dad, and his grandma. He really,
So that's all he knew.
that's all he knew. So when he got even familiar with my side of the family, it was kind of a switch, and it was like, I gotta get you trained and familiar with, not to say he gotta get trained, but I gotta get you familiar with my side of the family. I gotta keep you around a little more. They gotta come over. But that came.
One thing I will say is, like, working at a daycare. I feel like some parents, like, because of COVID, they coddle their kids, and it does delay them because they're coddled and they don't know how to do certain things. Like, some kids will be on a bottle and they about 3 years old. That's not healthy for them, and that's not okay.
Like
for
sippy
them.
cup?
No, not sippy cup.
Oh.
Bottle. Yeah. It's stuff like that because they think it's okay, but then they get to daycare and we're telling them, like, we're trying to wean them off of this, and they're like, oh, why? Because they need to be off of it.
Yeah.
And plus,
And then, like, it's just certain things like that. And then I feel like when it comes to, like, when they diagnose a child, especially, like, not even trying to say, like, all kids, but, like, specifically black kids, when they get labeled with autism, it's like they're already stand out because they're a black kid, especially a black boy. And then they get labeled with that, and they're already like, oh my god, like, he's gonna be a problem child or something like that. It's automatic.
I just think it's sad, like, the world we live in right now. Like, I feel like, you know what's crazy? I think a lot of it has to do with technology use social media too, and social media is huge because
Yes.
people believe this and that. And I've learned one thing with social media. I love social media for the money purposes. YouTube.
Yeah.
Um,
Very lucrative.
I love social media for positivity, for good reasons wise, to watch good things, to make me laugh. But when I start seeing things where people are just pick, I'm
throwing
gonna judge you
stuff
this
out there.
that, I turn it off because that no. Like I said, when it comes to kids, every kid develops differently. Every kid has a mindset. Like I said, my son, he may not know one thing. The next day, he knows 5 things. I'm like, how did you learn that?
You never know.
But kids pick up things. Kids learn things. My kid, I'm not saying my kid, but he's gonna be 2 next month. Here, I'm already watching him, and just from my kid's not an iPad kid, but we got an iPad from him because when he turned around 1, we did a long road trip to Florida, so we needed something in the car for him.
Yeah.
Let me tell you though, if you do have an iPad for your child, or if you get one for your son, if you don't, best thing you can do, because your kid is gonna get a little attached to it, they're gonna love their cartoons, but put learning games on there. My son, and personally, I mean, yeah, we play our little puzzles and this and that, but I kid you not, give him about, I think he started learning this, not even that matching game I showed you in his iPad. Let me tell y'all, iPad kids, whatever, I was never for it, but when it comes to learning things and their own brain development, these kids will learn. My son, like I said, he's not in a daycare, so he's not, you know, like your son. He don't
Yeah.
watch other kids every day. He's not hearing other kids every day. He's not this, so of course he's not going to be advanced right away. That's okay. My son, not saying my son like that, but with him having his iPad every morning, and he knows he'll go run get his iPad. He knows his other routines. I'll get ready in the morning, but what I like is it kind of created this more developing, like, bonding moment between me and him, because I let him free for all, do whatever he wants in the house. Doors are open. He knows where his toys are. He knows his playroom. He knows his cartoons. He knows where this and that. He knows. Now what he does in the morning with me, 'cause, you know, kids want to be with you. A girl's got to get ready in the morning.
Exactly.
I get ready, I shower, you know, I do my makeup. When I do that, he'll come in my room and he'll sit in my bed. He'll grab his iPad. Like I said, he's not even 2 yet. There's a matching game on there with like all these different shapes. He can finish that whole entire game by himself. Kyle, I kid you not. Yeah. And this child, probably within 2 weeks. Kids, I'm telling you. Miss Rachel, I know everyone hates on Miss Rachel. Jax, what did he do the other day? He saw that train. He dropped his peanut butter cookie. He said, train. I said, that's right. Kids learn. They do.
That's
Have
crazy.
your, like, I'm not
Okay.
have your this and that, but Miss Rachel, like, what I'm learning with Jax is I didn't care for her for a while, but when it comes to, like, speech development,
She repeats everything,
yes,
so they learn to
Mama,
repeat everything.
he knows train. He points at everything now. I took him to the park yesterday. He was pointing at squirrels left and right. I was like, squirrel. Like, like, he's just learning so quick. And I promise you, like, 2, 3, I feel like even 4 is like that.
They start picking up everything.
I know a child, and I'm not this and that. I knew a child that was around probably 3 and a half. Their speech development, like, you couldn't really understand their speech development, but once they kind of turned 4, it was like, boom.
I knew the whole thing.
I'm telling you.
That's what I
They learn
believe
so
it is.
quickly.
Everybody
And my kid's
is
not
different.
around these other, not like that. But my kid's not in daycare. He doesn't watch these kids. Let me put all these pieces. Let me put these shapes together. He's not around all that, but he knows because just from playing, this learning game, he knows just from learning every morning and practicing.
And that's
He'll be
how I
alright.
feel like my son is when he see all the bigger kids in the neighborhood, because he always outside. We got him on a stroller. He
Keep him outside.
walking.
I'm
But
telling
when
you,
he
especially
watching
a
them
boy.
kids talking, like, literally, so my mom, she's decorating her house yesterday and the day before. She decorating it for Halloween, getting it ready. He playing with the spiders, and he just outside. Kids come outside. Can we help? Can we help? He like, what y'all doing over here? Got his little spider. Start tossing him. He go inside the bucket and just tossing the spiders. Like, yeah, this is.
Y'all
I mean,
help
I
with
want
this.
this one, and then he go grab his big one. He like the biggest spider, but he was
That's
just
why I don't
tossing them
scare
to
him.
the other kids, and he seen the other kids talking to me, and it just looked like he was interested in what we were talking
Yeah,
about. So
that's
I'm
good.
like, sooner or later he just gonna dissect everything.
It's gonna
and-
happen. I
It's gonna
promise
come.
you.
When
And
you
you
start
know
talking,
what?
you'll be like,
It's
oh,
crazy
man.
because it's so common nowadays. So don't stress about it.
Oh, yeah.
I
Stressing
promise
about
you.
him. I had
It's hard
that
not to stress
episode.
about kids.
Yeah,
It's
no,
really
I
hard.
had that episode.
I stress about my child every day. Not even things I need to stress about, but I just.
Whew, I feel like the biggest turn, if anything, for me as a parent with my son, the biggest thing that I could say is I want my son to know if anything is not all right, you always can talk to your father. Like, right, wrong, no matter what it is. Like, I honestly was raised in a house, or I was raised in a house where I seen domestic violence. I seen the most nastiest things, but like I was raised by a family with unconditional love. So I know what unconditional love is. I've seen bad things turn good, and I've seen good things turn real spoiled. And just growing up and living this thing that's called life, there's so many things out here that can steer you away from what your destiny is. But whatever it is that got you down or happy, you can always come back to dad and talk to him about it. Because I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to support you. I'm here to lift you. Like I'm a big listener in podcasts, big listener in successful people's stories. I feel like that's how you become successful. You listen to their stories, you might figure out some similarities, and you might figure out your way. Like, maybe I'm gonna try this way and it might work for me. In my situation, I feel like I've seen so many people become successful just by listening to what their family's saying, their support group. Like, the people who support them is the people who lifted them to the next level, and they kept them around. A lot of times they cut out the bad people, and that's what you're supposed to do in life. You cut out the bad people, no matter how addicting it is, no matter how much this person may do for your life. You like not bringing the positivity, you kind of gotta go, or it's gonna hinder you. So just real life, I want to be there for them and just let them know, like, I'm supporting you, I'm uplifting you, I'm making sure you gonna get to the next level in whatever you want to do. It's gonna be the best shoe seller, the best whatever, entrepreneur, lawyer, whatever you want to do. I'm here for you because I seen what unconditional, like I said, I've been raised in unconditional love, but I can say truthfully, on the support side, it's just been kind of figure shit out, and then we gonna support you when you get there. I can truly say I felt that before. Not to say that's what it is currently. So everybody that do support me, keep supporting me. No backlash or no shit talking.
Kind of talking about overall of what you're talking about, just like things you've seen and how you feel, or how you always want to, you want your son to know, like, hey, I'm always here for you, and things like that always talk to me. I think a topic we can talk about that a lot of people nowadays, which is very important, that is mental health. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing the best I can. How are you doing?
I'm good.
What about you?
The best I can.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
Yeah. So salute to us, and cheers to us, and cheers to everybody that's doing the best they can, because
It's hard out here.
it's hard out here. You come in this world alone, and I mean, unless you some twin that, and I don't even, that's still different. But you come in this world alone and you leave this world alone. So every day is not guaranteed, but just take the time to appreciate it and make the best of it, because it's not guaranteed tomorrow. But I am doing the best I can. Like, mentally, I can say, for a man who like juggles, I don't know, my schedule is so hectic, like on a regular basis, being a father, a provider, a support person for like multiple people. I could say I always my days are like a little hectic because I have people I support whether they know it or they don't. They call me every day like, um, I'm going through such and such and I need this and I all right, I got you. Let me talk to you. Let me calm you down. What's going on? Can I all right, I support you. I love you. I'm here for you. Everything that we do kind of take a little bit of energy from us as people. So when we do pour into people, not to say everybody um, expect to get poured into right then and there, but just like they say, you always want to pour into somebody who's pouring into you.
Exactly.
And when too much of yourself get poured out, it's like sometimes you don't know what you're running off of. You got to pray and gain something like, shoot, I need a tree or somebody I can gain from so I can be good for myself and keep pouring into whoever. But like I said, that's a part of your mental health. You got to identify who you are. Since since our car accident, I'm gonna say our because this is not just myself. Since our car accident, I realized I was big into following people. I was a big person in the okay, this is my group. This is who I mess with. This is what we like. This is what we do because we're a squad. Almost like a football team, right? One sound, one mind, one body. And what that turned me into was wherever I was, I couldn't socially identify as what is Jacob? Who is Jacob? What do Jacob like? I was always like, I don't know. It's whatever. You know, I never really had a preference in anything because I never knew who I was. I personally like I was so cool with going with the flow. It was hard to identify and catch up on like is this really something like you want to do? Is this something you really want to be involved in? Like the one thing I can honestly say, and I'm going to keep calling myself not an artist, musician. I music is something I love. Music is something that I do whether I'm happy, whether I'm sad, whether I'm an artist in a form of creativity, not even just music. I create shit. It can be a poem. It can be a script. It can be a whatever I feel like is gonna be free at mind for myself because that's the first way of expressing yourself, right? We sometimes you don't speak it out loud and you don't yell it. You might need to write it down, and that turns into whatever it turns into. So I look at things as in mentally, if I can't get myself right, let me take a step back, look at things, write down how I'm feeling because I might need to read that a couple days later and feel a different place or be in a different place, and it definitely can ease things out, make it better.
What? What sign are you?
Oh, I was Cancer. I'm born in July.
Early or late
July 18th.
I'm a Taurus. He's just very similar to me when it comes to like. But I know sign. I'm a Taurus, so like Tauruses were like you can ask her. My mind, I feel bad every day. I'll text like her and our friend Ryan. I need your help. I need ideas. Every day I'm just always trying to come up with ideas how to make money. Like I was
Right.
just telling him today, I want to start my own. We do the podcast, but aside that, I want to actually maybe be a YouTuber. I'm home a lot. Why not do content? And I went to school for marketing, and I can market my own shit. So we're gonna try and figure that out. But being
It's
a
gonna
Taurus,
happen.
we're just very creative people. We're very innovative. We like to implement ideas. We like to constantly thinking of things. So you saying that too. So Cancer and Tauruses must have that similarity in a way. But I know signs have like similar traits.
I s- well, I'm gonna just say this: all of us as people are very creative. We have different expressions in how we create. Kyla, I don't know your sign. I know you're
I'm a
born October.
Sagittarius.
No, it's not October. Your birthday was
December.
December. I was thinking, I was finna say November, but like it's December. But perfect examples. Kyla might be great at writing down or expressing herself, but it might be in a drawing, creative fashion. Like she might be able to design the hell out of a room, and that's a creative idea, creative expression. Versus me, I might be good at writing how I feel, my emotions. I might be good at just jotting that down on paper, and however it transpires, it might come out to be a poem, and it might sound real good. But in the same token, everybody and you have your creative ideas that can inspire into $1 million plans or $1 million content, which we is all hoping for.
I know that's right.
Praying for a win, right? But it's all creative. I feel like everybody got some type of creative juice, but it involves self. Just like the idea of being an entrepreneur. It's like an entrepreneur is just a broad statement of whatever the hell you want to sell, you can sell. Like you can invent, like you're making your own business as an entrepreneur, and you're whatever content you want to do, that's you. That's the broad of it. But like everybody just gotta identify what lane they want to be in and who they want to be for them. And a lot of people still stuck. There's a lot of people out here still stuck. I can truly attest to that. Like I have friends. I I went through a religious breakthrough,
Spiritual awakening.
a spiritual awakening, and I had to take a walk. That was a long walk. I had to walk away from a lot of things that I like, a lot of things that kept me bonded with people that was very close to me, a lot of shifts that had to be made for the future. No matter, I don't know what the future hold, but man, I tell you, it shook up everything that was going on in my life and everything that was going that I felt complacent or well. It shook it up because what happened is I wasn't comfortable with who I was or who I was portraying. And like I said, like this, y'all gotta find yourselves. Y'all gotta find yourselves because that's the first step in mentally evaluating your personal, looking yourself in the mirror more than twice in a day. Start a bathroom plan and groom yourself and literally look at your flaws. I don't care if they zits, you gotta start with. Like you have to identify who you are and be comfortable with it and embrace it because it's a lot that you can do. It's a lot that you can aspire for somebody else to be. I mean, of course, we all got people we look up to. We got people we want to be. That's the point of being inspired by somebody, right? You want to be like them. But in the same sense, everything that we do ain't gonna be just like that person that we inspired by, and it's gonna inspire somebody else because we did it a little bit different. And I had to learn that and be comfortable with that because who I've always tried to portray or who I've always liked, like I had eras. I'm gonna use the example. I love the hell out of let's see, I love the hell out of Tupac. I love the hell out of Pop Smoke. I love the hell out of a lot of fallen people who came and went. Right? Musically, I had an era where I just was in love with them. Couldn't stop listening to them. Wanted to be the person. And identity wise, that didn't fit who I was. That wasn't Jacob. So I had to really evaluate that and take consciousness with. I can't be this person. No matter, you can write your music like this person. You can be inspired by everything that they do. And a lot of people would do this and they'll be like, dang, why the hell my rap career didn't make it this long? Why the hell my this? Because you were trying to be somebody you wasn't. A lot of people out here trying to be somebody that they're not. A lot of people run out of content or a lot of this, a lot of that because it was for the moment and they don't know who they is, and then they catch themselves in their mid-20s having a crisis, early 30s, sometimes even later. God forbid it don't be later. And they have a crisis like, damn, I spent the last 10 years doing this and it was BS. And now I got to start all over and start building now with the confidence being low like here and everything. You just got to really evaluate and know who you are. And a lot of people don't pay attention to that coming out of high school. They don't. I'm 18. I'm young. I'm turned. I'm finna live this moment out. I'm finna learn about these drugs. I'm finna learn what they do to me. And I'm in a moment. I'm in the cycle. And ain't no telling how long you're going to be in that cycle. So I say that to say everybody needs to get a grip or a consciousness of somebody or something that they talk to and gain some realization about what we living in today, because it's all blocks, distractions, and something we need to all like evaluate. We need to evaluate what's real, what's not. My family, my partner, you know what I'm saying? My family, my partner, my close ones around me. I need to evaluate these people. I need to make sure these people are in the best of interest. They care is good. They care about themselves. They care about the same values that I care about. I got to make sure that mentally, because, mentally you can't just be in a good spot for you and then be surrounded. Like, you can't have the best mentality and then still be in the hood surrounded by all types of chaos.
You have to grow.
Yeah.
One thing I was seeing the other day, we were driving the other day, Justin. We were driving the other day, so when we were actually in Tennessee, we just got back from a trip. And we were just talking about a lot of stuff on our way home, and just saying, it's like you just hear, so let me just put it like this. You ever been to Tennessee?
Yeah.
Okay, so we know how the environment is here in Michigan.
Yeah.
But when you live here, you get so used to it. You're just so used to it. But then it's like, I've been to Tennessee, I've been to Florida, I've been places for a lot of times. But going to Tennessee, it was really different for me this year, and I don't know why. I think just because, you really, like, one thing I'm learning about myself this year is really focusing and being present in the moment. A lot of times when I do things, I can be in the moment with you, but mentally, I'm not there.
Right.
80% of the time, I'm not there with you.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucked up. Like, for real. Like, I mean, honest to God, like, talking about mental health, like, I do think about a lot of shit. Like, I bet 95% of people can admit, like, you're not there in the present with someone, but you can be physically, but mentally you're not. And that's why a lot of times an hour later, you're going to look back at that and be like, I don't even know what we talked about, this and that. I do have bad memory. But sometimes that, too, is because you're not with it. And, like, you have to realize that, like you said, you have to find yourself and you have to find your true self. And that's one thing I'm learning about myself is I have to focus more on being more in the present moment rather than thinking about things in my past or worrying about things in my future.
Yeah.
Because that's what I do a lot. But what I was saying is, what's crazy is, you hear so many stories every day. And I feel like it's just such negative things. Like, every day. It's like, even when we were in Tennessee, I'm on Instagram for a second. I kid you not. This happened in Detroit. This happened in Southfield. I'm just like, every day. It's sad.
Yeah.
And it's like, we all got kids. I don't want my kids around that shit. Like, I'm being serious. I don't want my, And it's like, we're in Tennessee, everywhere's different. But I'm like telling Jess, we're there. And I'm just like, you don't want to, you can't grow in the same environment that you stay in. Like, so this is one thing. Like, me personally, this is what I believe in my spirit. I always tell him, and he knew this since I've been with him for 4 years. The night we met, we hung out, and like I always told him, I said, I don't want to live here. You know, like I definitely want to move. You know, getting to know someone, I already gave him the heads up. I'm like, I'm
Mhm.
trying to go,
Mhm.
and that's still my plan. You know, but it's like I just feel like personally, in my opinion, if I stay here in Michigan, I may start growing from somewhere, and I do believe that something's gonna happen here for me to start growing. But I feel like eventually I'm going to want to branch off and really start growing somewhere else. And I feel like for you to truly grow somewhere, you have to go places. You have to maybe live somewhere. You have to just start.
You have to see some things,
Yeah, you
experience
do.
some things.
Yeah.
What about you?
I feel like
I
As
pour
a-
myself another drink, y'all.
I told you that guava was good.
Look,
I'm sticking to my peach. I
I'm-
like my peach.
XXL going to sponsor us as much time we drink this on the pod.
Y'all need to right.
I'm doing something new, y'all. This guava is something different. I'm a fan of the peach, but this guava is something different for the show.
Highly recommend. But like how I would feel is like mental health wise, I feel like after I became a mom, I feel like it hit me a little bit more because it's like I had my issues beforehand before I had Carter.
Take me back. Did the accident? My bad, not to cut you off. Did the
You're good.
accident do anything?
It just scared
mentally,
me from driving.
It just scared you from driving
For a while, but
Okay.
then I understood. I was like, I have to get to going.
Yeah,
Like, I
you got to
have
do what you got to do. Life
Yeah.
has to happen.
And then once it happened, I was gone. That was it. Like
Yeah.
all my friends could say, Kyla will be gone. Like I had a Fiat, 2012 Fiat 500. She was the cutest thing. People would see me just zooming. Like I was gone. And
turning corners.
yep, I was gone, and that's just all it took. But then
I
I
heard
got
that.
my Jeep because I knew I wanted something bigger. I was tired of having this small ass car.
Mhm.
And then, right, because I got it in 22. I got it in 22. And then I found out I was pregnant in March. So I was like, well, it was perfect timing because that Fiat was not going to fit Carter's car seat or nothing.
Mm.
But I feel like I had my own issues. I don't know. I used to get my hopes up a lot. And, like, I've always been that way, and then I hurt my own feelings.
So, question:
Mm-hmm.
is your expectation for others something that's gonna drive you to the other end? Like, God forbid, not to, like God forbid, you have expectations in somebody you care about, and them people, that person you care about, let your expectations down. Is that something that's gonna steer you away from them?
It hurts me, like, a lot.
Are you asking like how would she like react to a situation if someone were to let her down or just like make her disappointed or like make her upset?
Yeah, so like I've been told to expect less because the less you expect, the less letdown you have.
And I agree with that, but then like,
But who writes the standards?
Sorry. What? So talking about this, I actually just learned about this the other day. One thing. Okay. So we're talking about mental health. So what I can say about it is I actually created myself. How do you want to describe it? So as we're getting older, like Kyla said, especially, I mean, you're a father, you know, so you're a new parent too, you know, so it's like everyone, even, you know, not just being a mother, you know, we all carry things, even, I mean, let me just say for being a new parent, your life changes. I mean, a lot of things change. My whole self changed, my life changed, my whole person, I mean, let's say my whole person, but a lot of things change, you know. One thing I could say though about me, and this is just carried from way before even having a child, this has nothing to do with being a mother, but talking about, like, you know, kind of said, like, getting your hopes up, things like that. One thing I never really realized about myself until I really learned about it, and this was probably about it this past year. So, Justin. And I know it's not a bad way, but, like, someone will, like, say, like, why do you always, like, this is something I always do. Like, say you were to tell me something, like, hey, let's just say this, for example. You're going to come over next week and you're going to bring me something, blah, blah, blah. My immediate reaction is, and this sounds really messed up, but I'll be like, what if he doesn't come over? What if he doesn't end up showing up? What if he just blah, blah, blah? Like, I immediately go, is it called flight or fight mode? or kind of like survival mode a little bit. I kid you not, I've been like this for years. Where like I don't know, it's because maybe when I was younger, and I can't even tell you why. Like I've always felt like a lot of times like I've had a lot of disappointments, like you said, like disappointments, things like that. And I've learned like you don't mean to, but like him, he'll tell me, "Hey, I'm gonna do something for you. I'm gonna do this." He always does what he says. He is, and I will say he is definitely a man of his word. Never given me a reason to not be a man of his word. But due to past traumas way before him, you carry that as a person. And whenever he tells me anything, I immediately go into fight or flight mode. And I would say, but you're not going to. Or you're not going to do this. Or you're not going to do that. And I immediately will say, and it's like you put yourself into this, what's it called, protection mode. Because you
Yeah.
don't want to get yourself hurt.
Yeah.
So you immediately get that mindset that this isn't going to happen, even though it will happen. So you don't
Right.
get your hopes up.
Right.
That's what I do. Yeah.
So it's like I don't want to put my feelings all into that person, and then like it doesn't matter, family or whatever. I just always get let down. But then, like you said, who creates that standard? My mom is like the main person to say, literally, she just say fuck them. It doesn't matter. Don't feel that way. Don't think about what they say. All that stuff. But me, I think more emotionally and with my heart. So
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
feel
Wear your heart
everything.
on your sleeve.
And then with having Carter, it's like, and even I'm that friend. Like everybody calls me, and I'm pouring into them, pouring into them, pouring into them, and then I'm with my cup empty.
Yeah.
And then I feel everybody's emotions on top of that, and then I'm just like,
Well,
and then with Carter too, it's like I feel his emotions, even though he's a baby.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel his feelings.
Yeah.
So when his feelings are let down, and I feel let down, that's it. And then
Mhm.
that's why I'm like, I kind of don't. I distance myself. And
That's a
where
part
I'm
of that's a part a small. Well, I'm not. Matter of fact, take the small out. That's a piece of depression. That's a piece of depression. Um, Dealing with it though, coping with it. It sounds like you have a mechanism, and of course, I want to tell you like I'm actively doing, and I like the world. Everybody needs to talk to somebody, whether it's a therapist, whether it's a best friend, or some person that cares and give it that cares. So I hope that mental journey is something you acknowledge and you get to a point to where you can actually express like what these emotions do, especially with dealing with a child, because just like you said, you these babies feel like I've never and not to I've never in my life understood like yeah, I remember being a kid and hearing my parents argue, and I used to be able to like feel that emotionally. But like as a this works for this small to 8-year old, they understand and feel. You don't have to understand English to feel emotion, and I never knew that, but it makes sense. You could be talking to me in Chinese, and I don't understand a lick of Chinese, but I can read your emotions and understand how frustrated you are and how upset you are. And when I understood that, it was a light bulb in my head like, yeah.
And we're back.
Sorry for the interruption.
A little bit of technical difficulty.
But it's okay. It happens.
Anywho, to wrap everything up, we talked a lot. I mean, we talked about a lot of stuff. But we talked about mental health. We kind of talked about healing and coping with things a little bit and
Yes,
how we
we did.
feel. We talked about emotions. We talked about kids.
Kids.
Yeah. But we definitely want to have you back.
Yes.
So definitely come back with us one week and we'll talk about stuff or even new topics.
Look, I'm definitely open to all conversation. I love being here, just expressing what was on my mind, on my heart, and just being real sincere with some sincere people, which is good enough. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot more messages for the world. Hopefully, I got to tell y'all something. Y'all got to find out something about some identity crisis. Figure out yourselves.
Yes.
Hopefully, for my young parents out here in this world that just need somebody to relate to and talk to. Hopefully, I did relate to you. You can listen. Shoot, if y'all want to talk to me, y'all can reach out. God made Jake all over social platforms, everywhere. I honestly feel like in my future, I'll be making music. My creativity is more inspired towards the grown folks and the being real and not following no more. So hopefully I make something people can relate to and people can gravitate to and y'all lift y'all baby up, you know? So
This was a
Thank
great
you.
conversation.
Thank you for coming on.
I
And
appreciate
expressing
it.
just talking about everything, especially being a man. Like, one thing I'll say is I feel like in the world we live in now, a lot of men don't really express how they feel or they feel like
No.
they can't. So,
They don't.
Whew,
Thank
it's
you.
hard. It's hard.
I see you.
It's,
I
it's
get it.
hard out here.
It's hard, and I get it. Men always expect to be, and it's okay to talk
It's
about
okay
things.
to express yourself.
It is. It's healthy.
Man, that just
I think it's human for
that
everyone to
is-
express their feelings.
Definitely.
I know every man that seen my like face when they listen to these women when they say it. It is alright to express how you feel. If you got to go to a room and let out some tears, if you need to go punch a bag, if you need to do something positive to go let out your emotions, we crashing out too much. We doing radical things. We letting people get to us that shouldn't get to us. We letting things get to us that shouldn't. And it's going both ways. I'm not even just speaking of my men at this point, but we gotta talk. We gotta have a communication line somewhere.
It's okay to get help and to talk and just even like one thing I learned too, like this is something I personally like to do. Like even if you're someone like I'm not saying like I'm not against it at all, but if you don't feel comfortable talking to a therapist or if you don't want to talk to a therapist or even feel comfortable, like if you really just don't want to talk to nobody, like just journal. Journaling helps so much. Writing out your expressions, even if you like write things on your phone and your notes to express your feelings. Even like every morning you wake up and just express what's on your mind. It will help with so much. It's kind of like an exit outlet almost.
Y'all don't have to go so deep into examining y'all steps and y'all progress. Literally 1% can turn into 2. You gotta start somewhere.
Yeah.
And even if that somewhere is writing it down. And then that next somewhere is telling your best friend. And then that next somewhere is telling the therapist. Or expressing it to somebody who you don't know that might be going through what you're going through. That's
You just
the
don't know
real.
what people are going through, and I learned that like you really see what others are. I mean, it's not even like you see what others are going through, but you may think like you're really having a bad day, and then you're like, whoa.
Do you never
and
know?
like your problem can be so minor compared to what others are could be going through, and like you don't think about things
Do
like
you
that.
never know who's watching
No.
this and how it can impact them
Mm-hmm.
and make them feel?
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for that. I'm glad we do have the podcast so we can reach out to those people.
So
Because I
let's,
feel like we can't do that all the time.
before we go, let's do like a cheers to that. Let's
I gotta
just go
report.
ahead.
Hold on.
Let's just go ahead and do a little cheers to that one because we all need to love and support.
Yes, agreed.
Cheers.
Yes.
All right. Thank
Bye,
you everyone
y'all.
for
See you
watching.
next week.
Have a good